I'm gonna kind of show you guys what I look for when I'm fishing grass, because that's kind of what I've keyed in on today, was grass. On the exception of a couple brush piles where I was fishing kind of deep, maybe 10 foot, something like that, and some schooling fish. But I wanted to find some largemouth in the grass because they're all the spotted or seem like they're in brush piles and things like that. So I wanted to find some largemouth. So I went searching for grass, which, I mean, I know where grass is on this lake. This is Lake Hamilton, and you know, I know where to find it. But I'm gonna kind of show you what I look for whenever I key in on grass. And if you've never been to a lake before, or you've been, you know, your home lake, you fish it all the time, there's always fish to be found in grass, some shape, fashion, or form. If you can find grass, you're going to find fish, because they spawn in it, they bed in it. Heavy mats, hydrilla thick, I mean, they get down underneath it and stay cool in the summer. And I look for shallow flats, you know, like 5 foot deep, maybe even 8 foot deep. But I'm gonna kind of cruise on the graph here and show you what it looks like and kind of what I look for. But let's just take a look at it. All right, well, see, I've been looking for these flats, these shallow flats. And so let me cruise over the flats, and we'll start seeing some grass, because we're in 12 foot of water. And let's get up shallow. All right, here we go. Now we're getting into some grass, a little bit, not a whole lot. There we go. Now we're coming into some pretty thick mats. There's a real thick mat. All that's just grass everywhere. Look at all that grass. And so if you're flipping a jig into it, that works. Throwing a crankbait over the top of it, that works too. But that's what I look for, is these shallow flats, and I want to find grass. And so whenever I start looking for grass, or I've never been to a lake before, this is kind of what I'm looking on. And I'm going to kind of key in on these shallow areas, because I know grass is going to grow in these shallow areas. But look at all that grass. So you could actually take a crankbait right there and a 5 foot diver and just tick the top of that grass and see if you could get any strikes off of it. And then if you didn't, you could always turn back around and flip a jig into it, or turn back around and just toss like a, you know, a walking bait, a frog, a horny toad, I mean, something like that. I'm gonna turn around here real fast. But this is just full of grass. And it's pretty deep grass, so if you don't have a graph, you can't find it. But if you've never fished a lake before, it's new. I mean, you have no idea where to go. And if you got heat, you know, of course you're gonna need some heat for at least, you know, 70 degrees, something like that, to have grass to be effective. And if you've got those conditions, I'd go for shallow flats, start looking for grass, and more, you know, 9 times out of 10, there's gonna be fish with the grass. And so I'm going back over there I just went over. I'm hoping I can see some fish maybe coming up to the surface. That's all my wash there as I cruised over that grass. Well, there's a fish right there coming up, and there's another thick, so that's a good indication. That's a thick mat right there that's kind of isolated. So I put a waypoint on that, you know, put a waypoint, and then I could go back over it and really work that mat and flip a jig into it, things like that. But that's kind of what I look for when I'm fishing grass. Well, I hope that kind of helped you guys out. I mean, kind of showed you what I look for when I'm fishing grass, and kind of what I like to key in on. I like to, if I'm fishing grass in like 10 foot of water, which you can't see the mats on the surface, I like to get in about 10 foot of water, maybe 6 foot of water. And I like for the stalks to come up to maybe 3 foot of water or 4 foot of water. And that way, I mean, you could have different presentations. Like I said, you could throw like a square bill crankbait, a swim jig through it, a punching jig. You could, you know, do like a bladed jig, like bladed jig with some type of swim bait on it, you know, like a chatterbait. But those are always good techniques, and of course you got your walking baits too. Those always work. And but there's multiple things that you can do whenever you find grass, and because 9 times out of 10 there's going to be fish associated to grass. So hopefully, if you guys have any questions on it, let me know. And in the video, I fished around a little bit. It's starting to rain. I'm about to get out of here. It's about 3 o'clock. I got out of here about 10, so I'm gonna head out. But if you guys have any questions or anything, let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer anything. And if you guys like the video, hit the little like button and subscribe to the channel. But until then, we'll see you guys next time. Hook them right in the top of the mouth. That's where you want them, right there. Nice spotted bass. Get them back.